Thanks for joining me back in the game room. We are moving out, so that is what is happening here. But just before I get everything packed away, I wanted to go through these things before I forget, because I had some pickups. I did a pickup video. I forgot to talk about things. So I'm going to do that this time and talk about why I get things rather than just telling you where and how much. So, at an op shop, local op shop, and picked up this one. This is CD sleeves, and it has on the back there, it's a Target brand, and $7.95 usually. I got it for $1. They are perfect for sales, so as in when you buy any media that does not come with a case, to slip it in one of those, slip it between some cardboard and off it goes, and you know it's going to get there nice and safe and not going to have any trouble with scratching and things like that. So I was happy to get that one for cheap, and when I find stuff like that that I can use for selling, then I absolutely pick it up. This one was... No, I'll show that later. Okay. Whoa. At another op shop, I picked up Call of Duty Ghosts, and I thought this would actually have a little bit of value. It's a 2-disc version on the Xbox 360. I haven't played Call of Duty Ghosts, so I'm not sure if it's any good. I know that there are a million of them, but I thought that would at least hold some type of value, but it seems to be going for pretty much, after postage and fees on eBay, you'd be pretty much breaking even. So I already have a copy of this, so it's just something that I'm going to have to hold on to for a while and yeah, figure out what to do with it later on. Who knows, it might go up in price later. Another op shop find. This one was $2. It is Terraria on the Xbox 360. Already had this one on the Wii U, so no real need to have it again. But I don't know, I'm not sure. I think the Wii U one... Actually, I'm not sure what would be better in terms of... yeah, which one would be the better port. But for $2, couldn't pass that one up. Case is a bit banged up. It's actually in a 3-disc case, so I'll swap that one out. The disc would play, but it is a little bit scratched, so I might even send that one to get resurfaced and get a few of those together and get them resurfaced. I think it costs about $3 each, so that will end up, if I do that, that will cost me $5 all up for that one. Still not a bad price. I got a few games off of eBay, ones that I have been wanting for a while. I got a really good price on this one, Dead to Rights Retribution. So there's a Dead to Rights game on the original Xbox as well, and you play as a police officer that has this dog that is part, I think it's part wolf. I think your dog is part wolf, and basically you are a 2-person army, or a 1-person, 1-dog army, and you go around, and it has a lot of close combat fighting as well as shooting. The shooting's pretty impactful in this one. It's a 3rd-person game. If you haven't tried this one, then absolutely give this one a go if you like 3rd-person action games. It is a ripper, and I used to have it and got rid of it somewhere online or lost it, or who knows. So very happy to get that one back. It's a Namco game, and Namco are pretty good at their arcadey type appeal game. So yeah, really happy to get that one for cheap, because it didn't come with a manual, but this is really rising in price in Australia. I think it has a lot to do with that there just wasn't a big interest in that one when it came out. So yeah, if you are an Australian and you're thinking about that one, definitely buy it on a cheap price if you can still get it. I got Vanquish with the strange cover. What do they call that? I don't think it's holographic. I can't remember what they call that. But it's got one of those type of covers on it that moves. That's a slipcase. So Vanquish is Sega. Another one that is fairly arcadey, I think. I can't recall when, with the videos that I've seen, if it's third person or first person. I think it's third person shooter. It definitely one that I have had on my list for ages, so long that I can't remember exactly what the gameplay is like, but from what I recall, it's going to be a game similar to Titan. What's that? Is that Titanfall? So similar to the combat there, where you're doing lots of parkour type stuff, sliding around. I think this is a lot of just sliding around and shooting. So again, another one that I got for a good price, because there doesn't seem to be an amazing or a huge amount of those copies out there on eBay in Australia. Picked up Full Throttle from eBay as well. I think this one was under 10. Might have been a little bit more, but it was around the $10 mark. This one's out. It's on Game Pass while I film this on the Xbox, remaster of it actually. But I really like these LucasArts classics. So this is a point and click adventure. I have not played this one, but from what I hear or see on the internet, it's supposed to be one of the best ones. So I really like these point and click adventures where you don't get stuck, like that they don't come to a death animation or things and then you can't progress. I really like the point and click where you can progress even if you get stuck for a while. Then there is a way to get out of it without having to restart the game. So I definitely like to grab those, and for use on my classic PC. Got a Windows PC that my son Davey and I built a year ago, and hasn't had much play actually. So in the new game room, hopefully I can find a dedicated place for that type of gaming, because I've got a few of them. I'm trying to collect the LucasArts classics purple cases when I can. Well, they're not purple cases, but they've got the purple inserts. So I've got Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds. That's not a point and click, that's strategy. Top-down strategy. That's a point and click, Sam and Max Hit the Road. And Grim Fandango. So that's what I have of those at the moment. I'm not sure how many of these are out there, but I really like the look of those. And if you are someone who is grabbing these, they don't need a serial number or anything to get running. You just have to have a computer that is going to be able to run a Windows XP style game, which I think most do. But my new computer doesn't even have a disk drive, and I haven't put one in and don't have an external one. But I've got a classic one for it, so there's no real need for it. Okay. Right, something that I picked up a little while ago and did not show was my RetroTink 2X Mini. I bought this one mostly for Nintendo 64. It is an upscaler. It is one of the cheaper upscalers that actually does a fair bit of difference. You can get some pretty cheap upscalers on eBay, but a lot of them don't really do much upscaling. A lot of those cheap versions of upscalers are really basic and don't really upgrade the signal very much. They just provide a means of you to be able to plug in a cable to that signal. A lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. But the RetroTink 2X Mini is a line doubler. So I plan on showing this in a bit more detail and showing you some comparisons on what it's like without and with. And the main reason I got this was because in Australia there wasn't, when we were using things like the classic Nintendo, Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 and things like that, not a lot of people went down the route of S-Video or SCART or things like that. It just wasn't a popular thing in Australia, and I guess it was out there. I mean, there would have been people who were using it and who were doing things with it, but they would have been your real tech savvy types of people. It's certainly not something that you saw the majority of people using those type of inputs. It was all this, what do they call that? There's all the red, yellow and white, the composite cables. That was the main way that people went after doing coaxial. So after doing the classic coax cable in the back, that's how most people played the old Nintendos and Sega consoles. And then when Nintendo 64 came along, Super Nintendo as well, that had AV or composite cables. And then it wasn't until, so even that took a long time for people to really use as the norm. So anyway, I got this one to play Nintendo 64 games. I'll have to show you in a bit more detail. A lot of the videos out there show them using things that set up that we just didn't use in Australia and that you can't find easily. So I'd like to show kind of a layman's vid of that one. But that RetroTink now have a 5X. They have a 2X Pro, which has a few more inputs, and they have a RetroTink 5X, which is far superior. But we're talking, I think this was $70 American when I bought it. That's without shipping, so I had to pay extra for that. But I think the RetroTink 5X is up around the $270 or $260, somewhere around there. So it's a lot different. So it still has its place. And the last thing that I have to show that came from the op shop, I found this tablet, and it just so happened that I found this one at a local op shop, and it came with a case. It's this weird branding, and I need to look at how it's pronounced, because we all thought it was Hawaii or Huey or something, but it's apparently pronounced Huawei. So we've got this Huawei brand tablet. It is a KOB W09, and when I looked at it, it didn't look like there was many that kind of made it to Australia. It seemed like not very popular tablet, but it is, a little ripper. It's nice to be able to play YouTube vids and stuff when making dinner or things like that. And the best part about it is that it was $5, $5 Australian dollars for this, and it was in much nicer, cleaner condition when we got it. The kids have been into it, but it basically looked like it hadn't been touched very much. And I think, well, I know the reason for this one, I saw it being put out on the shelf. That's the only reason why I managed to grab it before somebody else did. But I saw it being put out on the shelf just like that, and I thought, oh, I wonder what that is. Probably something all smashed up. I opened it up. It had a really nice screen on it. I pushed the button and it turned on, but it was at the screen that tells you that you need to put in all your details. So for the initial setup. Quickly grabbed that one, took it to the counter, paid my $5 for it, went home and found that it was locked. So it was, somebody had not taken their details out of it, but they had reset it without taking all of their details away. So basically it was locked to their account and I couldn't get into it. And that's the reason why it had a $5 tag on it. I think they had tried that already to get into it and decided that they weren't going to be able to, and maybe somebody could use it for parts or things like that. So I picked it up. It took me a solid 4 hours of searching through the internet, searching through videos. There are just not very many that were to do with this model to try and get around that lockout. And finally I managed to get through. I had to enable a whole bunch of things. I had to go into the terms and conditions, then throw myself over to another one of the apps, a notes app, and then from there I could open the maps, and from maps I could turn on location, and then I could use the speech to get to put in a destination. And once I could use the speech, once that was enabled, then I was able to use the speech to then ask it to open up a different part of the tablet, and then through there I was able to get into the settings enough that I was able to then link up a little SD card, mini SD card, with a workaround for the menus. And once I got that in, then I was able to reset it to factory defaults. I tell you what, as lucky as I am to grab it, if somebody else got this for $5, I'd say that it was probably going straight in the bin. It was really hard, and yeah, I spent, as I said, 4 hours doing it, and I consider myself pretty good with tech stuff, but it was really tricky to do with limited instructions or how-to vids. So yeah, it's definitely my favourite find of recent times. Thanks for watching this short pickups video. It'll be interesting to see where we go from here and what it will look like, and yeah, so anyway, I won't ramble. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.